What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, the abnormal situation that is also happening, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid went down 1.72%. It was having some pretty nice momentum near the end of the day. I actually did think it was going to close in the green. Unfortunately not. It kind of fell near the end right there, but nonetheless, Lucid massively was the best one under my watch list, and for the most part, most of the market as well. 206 was the low, 235 the high. And so same as yesterday, there was a lot of abnormal transactions occurring. So you have shorts doubling down, and also you have big money buying. So there is a battle. Started yesterday, continued on to today. There was this also that did come out. So it looks as though short sellers across the board, not just for Lucid, are trying to target companies with a greater market cap of 1 billion. And so far, just this week, they did make $54.9 billion. But not in Lucid's case, because Lucid did close for the week up 2.91%. So I think in reality, that is deserving of a round of applause, 100%. But even today, so for those of you that kind of watched my channel, yesterday shorts did increase roughly 7.5 million. Even during my pre-market video, shorts were increasing 2 million. At the end, they increased 4.07. And there's also some signs of manipulation because cost to borrow minimum is negative, meaning there is brokers out there physically paying people to short Lucid. So you have all of that. And normally, if I just told you that, everyone would be like, yeah, Lucid went down like 20% or something like that. But for whatever reason, I'm not really sure exactly why, you are having a lot of big money getting into Lucid. First thing, you had some selling. Of course, that's what did bring it down just with the broader market. But you are having a lot of big money buying for whatever reason. So 1.3, 1.16 million, even on the dark pool, just happened roughly 7 minutes ago, 1.22. 1.111. A lot of big money is just buying Lucid. Why? I'm not really sure, because there isn't really any news coming out. Even on social media, nothing really crazy floating around. I've already brought up how Lucid's really stepping up their marketing, and that's through various YouTubers kind of doing showings of the Gravity. Obviously, New York was a big kind of marketing event as well. So Lucid stepping up that, maybe that's drawing some attention to Lucid itself, but very interesting stuff all in all. And one thing did happen today that might affect Lucid down the line, and that's just what Powell stated. So the market was really hoping for a May Fed cut, and that is just to hopefully avoid a recession. But Powell kind of popped that a little bit and stated that we're going to just watch the data. So that's kind of the negative side of the Feds, how they're not really proactive. They're usually just sit back, let's watch the data. But by that time, it's a little bit too late. So I think all in all, Lucid did do fairly well, similar to yesterday. Absolute craziness though, the fear greed index is under the extreme fear category, so under 4. So it is always unfortunate that Lucid just has some good momentum during, honestly, the worst days in the market. And it's kind of funny, in the past, like I've been covering them for, was it almost 5 years now, crazy stuff. But like, let's say with Lucid, they put out some phenomenal news. I remember even back in the day when they put out that how the PIF and the Saudi government initially is going to put forth that 50,000 bid for vehicles with the extension up to another 50 to 100. And yeah, the market was selling off that day. Every single time Lucid puts out good news, there's some crap in the market. So it's it is what it is. I think if Lucid, or if the broader market was rallying, given the circumstances of Lucid, like Lucid would be up like 10-15% by now. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that, looking at options, so today you did have right over here 1.67 million in calls, 3.77 in puts. A lot of money getting into Lucid. 54% of all the options being done today were optimistic in nature, based on the premiums that they would and did receive. So this 1.7 million between 11 and 11.05, obviously most of which was neutral in nature, but definitely this is telling that big money is getting into Lucid. So there was 10.9 million in total premiums yesterday, 5.4 today. Normal case, it's like 1 million, maybe 3 million. And this one on here was at March the 26th, 403,000. So at the end of the day, like big money is getting into Lucid and they see a lot more upside. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Giving you a quick overview of this. So of the call options that were done, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 2 to 250. Given the circumstances, that's relatively bullish if you ask me. Bears, not really much going on for that. With it closing sub 250, that does mean that the 30,000 at the 250 and 20,000 at the 3 expires worthless. So it is what it is. That's kind of the name of the game a little bit. But with it at $2.28 trading between this pivot and this S1, 233 is going to be a key point to really get above early on next week. And then $2.11, it's going to be the next strong support. And it kind of bounced off of that general area. So we also know that's good support. Aside from all that fun stuff, there was 2 new ratings that did come out. That could have attributed to some of the institutional buying, but there was a $3 price target, Morgan Stanley, Adam Jonas, so 48% success rating, so that has gone down a little bit. And what's weird about him is he did give a bull case recently of $10, and that's because of some partnership news. Of course, I think Morgan Stanley is acting off of other information as I shared in the past, but there was also a $5 buy rating benchmark, Michael, who has a 33% success rating. So analysts really do like the delivery numbers. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that. I would have anticipated a little bit more, but still nonetheless good to see some good ratings coming out. Aside from all that fun stuff though, on the actual chart, still below all the key pivotal moving averages that I like to look at. But then again, like I have already stated, just Lucid's doing very well considering their technicals are pointing to more of a falling knife or potential falling knife, and just macro conditions as well. So yeah, it's a fun time being a Lucid investor. Give yourself a shout out if you did buy more today. Did you sell? I've seen a lot of posts on social media saying that I bought the dip and whatever else. So I myself haven't done anything. I'm still sticking to my plan that if it does either really push higher with Gravity ramp up, or if it gets back, let's say, to the $2 range or even sub $2 slightly, that's where I'll be a buyer. So until then, I'm just enjoying the ride. It's a bumpy ride, but it's fun. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Why do you think shorts are trying to target Lucid? And I think this is very telling. I have brought this up in the past, but cost to borrow minimum being negative, meaning someone's trying to drum up business and pay people to short Lucid, that has to be a broker. And honestly, as far as brokers having some issue with, let's say, the PIF and Lucid, I'm sure some of you can kind of think of a couple that come to mind. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on all of that. Hopefully everyone has a kick-ass weekend. Stay tuned for my video over the weekend where I go over some expectations for this upcoming week. But aside from that, I appreciate all of you watching. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some kick-ass buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. But with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.